Okay, to the second of the finals on Saturday night. It's Brisbane and the Western Bulldogs. This should be an absolute cracker, this one. Two even sides. And we want to look at the forward mix. McStay's out now off the back of Eric Hipwood. And this is how it may look. Joe Danaher deep. They might say he has to kick our goals and we'll surround him with Charlie Cameron,
Zach Bailey, Lincoln McCarthy
and Nakai Cockatoo.
But I don't think it's just about him kicking goals.
Yeah.
And look, bit of plagiarism here. Justin Lepage, the Tigers, spoke about let him do the Jack Rewalt. Just bring the ball to ground. It's going to be a little bit wet, I think, at night or dewy, and let them hit the fall of the ball and expose the Geelong defenders.
So the issue for them, if they go with this, is Alex Keith's record. So what a pickup he has been for the Bulldogs. So this is since round 12, the players he's got a hold of. So you can see there Lobb, Hawkins, Kennedy, Franklin, King, Dixon and Wright, all stars, massive minutes, 4 goals he's had kicked on him since round 12.
It's a handy record, and he just gave them great stability last week. He just put anyone he was on to sleep, and I think he'll go to Danaher, but we know, you said it, no Hipwood, no McStay, where are the goals coming from? So we've had a look at the opportunities.
Changing the mix-up, so we've thought, I don't think you give the Dogs what they want. We remove Keith out of the goal square, Ross, and give this man, Charlie Cameron, get Keith up the ground with Danaher and go to work these smalls. That might be the Dogs' best chance.
Well, you're asking the question of the Bulldogs coaching box. Are they going to roll over and hand over Danaher and Keith stays deep and maybe even takes Cameron, but then Danaher gets off the chain? Or if he goes with Danaher, all of a sudden he's out of that defensive pillar, he's gone. And then who's matching up? He's an impossible matchup out of the square. We've seen him go to full forward and kick 5. He's electric, he can play high, he can play low. And I just think you'd be sitting, and all the Bulldogs defenders would be going, you take him, take him, I don't want him. So Easton Wood's probably got the speed and capacity. I'm not sure who else has.
Yeah, that's why we want to do it. Throw something at the Dogs they're not ready for. I want to show you Harris Andrews' first contest last week. He's been a good player for a number of years, Harris, but this was his first contest. It's amazing sometimes your first contest represents the day you're going to have. So he's on Ben Brown. I'm expecting him to take this guy and hand over or charge across to get Ben Brown. He does nothing, Ross, and the rest of his day was symbolic of that.
Geez, that's sloppy. How do you want to start the game? When you're up in the midfield, the mark was taken by Petracca. So as Brown turned, he should have been at least goal side. You can't turn the other way and let him have access like you've pointed out.
And he's going to play on this man, Norton, who hadn't been in the best form either, but I thought the way he entered the game, he flew for marks, he went for grabs, and his confidence grew as the game went on, and that's going to be a magnificent matchup.
Luke Beveridge and the match committee would be thrilled with his performance, and they're wedded to the 3 tools. They brought in Shaki and they had English. So Andrews needs to sort of get his act together and bring his intensity and lead his back line.
So, Ross, this is a deep midfield battle, and we're interested in this guy, Jared Berry, because Liberatore has had a great year when he's been sat on the Dogs lose, but last week the Bombers let him get off the chain. Who can sit on him, or don't they do it?
We've identified Berry, which forces Zorko, we think, maybe out to a wing. But if they just let them play, and Essendon let them play, they didn't tag last week, and one of them's getting... Bontempelli was a bit quiet, but Liberatore was incredible first half. Then McRae, then Hunter. So, I think the Bulldogs are batting really deep, and one of them's going to get off the chain. Whereas I think Dunkley last week, for a quarter in the third quarter, went to Parrish and quietened him down. So you can see Harms went to Libber and beat him. Hewitt went there, tackled him, and then worked off him. So the 3 times he's been tagged, they've lost. So I think he feeds... They're hard to stop the insiders, but the formula's really clear. But I'm not sure... Fagan, I've said we're a hunting team and we're a hunting midfield, but gee whiz, the Bulldogs, they were incredible last week in the second half.
I don't think Jared Berry hurts you enough by foot, so I'd put him straight to Liberatore. And the last point we want to make is Bontempelli. He's going okay, but he isn't dominating. I think he's ready to launch this match. He's had 15 and 23 in his last 2 weeks.
Well, his first quarter was quiet. The others got going. But then he got to work in the second quarter. But he was getting it on the outside. And once he's taking ground and kicking, he's a scalper with the ball and makes great decisions. So I'm like you. I think he'll get off the chain and pop. He's great. You can't do it for 22 weeks. But the trend, as you said, is coming up, and I think he's ready to go and lead the Bulldogs to a big prelim.
All right, Ross, so there's the Bont. Can he lead his team, or did Dane Zorko? Who do you like in this one?
I like the Bulldogs. I know the Brisbane at home, the home crowd, but there's enough signs of vulnerability, and I think the Bulldogs come up Flynn hard and get it done.
I'm with the Dogs as well, Ross.